Another technique that Jason would use, no 80s guitarist would be without it, is right hand tapping. And hey, Jason tapped like many other guitarists in the 80s. And so in the 80s, you obviously had to give credit to Eddie Van Halen for bringing that to the forefront. And Eddie Van Halen was very much a linear tapper, meaning like he would play all along one string. And so many other things that he would do. Or let's go over some tapping licks. So Jason, like everybody, each person can decide how they want to tap. A lot of people in the 80s, you know, they mimicked Eddie Van Halen, and what Eddie Van Halen would do is he would pick with these 3 fingers, and he would just pretty much extend with his first finger to tap a note. So, some people who use 2 fingers would end up moving their pick in between their middle and ring finger and tap with their index finger, so they can put their thumb on the neck. There's some other people who just continue to hold the pick and whip out their other fingers to go and tap other notes. So, like good old Eddie Van Halen tapping, he would tap like this. So it would be tap. I'll just use it without the pick. So I'll tap, then I'll pull off to the index, then I'll hammer on the pinky, and then I will rinse and repeat. Cool, right? Another way that, well, this happens to also be ways that Jason would tap. Another one would be to, it's a slight variation, so it would be able to tap it, and then pull off the pinky and then index. So it's just descending. Another tapping that Jason would do would be kind of a 4-note sequence, and it would be this. Now, that's 1 note, and it's up and down 1 string. And there's nothing wrong with that, and it's totally cool, and I mean, Eddie Van Halen did a lot of cool things with doing that. Jason, for the most part, he would change strings. And he'd, actually, before we start changing strings, let me rephrase everything. So, many guitarists, what they would do is they would tap 1 note. Now what you can do is you can actually double up on your right hand. So it would be something like this. All right. So automatically you have a phrase of 3, 1, 2, 3. Tap, pull off, pull off. And then if you double up, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can either do choices of 3 and 4 or 5. Yeah, I mean, you can mix those up, and we'll cover how to play around with these type of accents a little later. But yeah, for the sake of running up and down some scales with this stuff, try this. And then what we're going to do, we're going to kind of focus on a pentatonic, and then we'll come down. Come down. So, look at this, a nice, long, slow-ish pentatonic scale. A little faster. One more time. Sorry, one more time. So you can double tap that as well. That gets the double tapping thing happening. So here's the next lick that we're going to cover. A little faster. Now, let's cover a little bit what that is. First off, it's an A minor arpeggio, so it should work out nicely. That means it fits within some kind of nice little tonal setting, like over a nice A minor chord. Next is, what that is it's a combination of accents. And it's really, really interesting because you can pretty much have your drummer accent this, or your band accent this, the rhythm players. So here's what we're going to do. It's going to be the same shape. It's this on your E string, and then these three notes on your B string. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much alternate between doing single taps and double taps. And I'll explain what I mean. So this is going to be broken down into 3 sections. First is you're going to single tap each one. So it's this. Nice and slow, so it's 1, 2. Okay? Next, so remember this, 3 parts. So we just finished the first part. The middle part, we're going to double tap the high E string, the top note on the high E string. So it becomes this. We'll do that one more time. So let's put the first and second parts together. A little slower. So that's the first and second part. So the third part, what we're going to do is we're going to have a double tap on our B string. Just to round it up. First time through, we do a single tap on the E string as well as the B string. Second time through, we do a double tap on the high E string. Second time through, we do a double tap on the B string. So let's take a look at the third part. That part again, even slower. It may be hard to differentiate between where these accents are for now, but when you start being able to speed it up, you'll be able to tell there is an accent pattern happening. So here we go. We're going to put the first part and the second part and the third part all together. So remember, the first part has single tap. Second time around, has a double tap on the high E, and third time around, it does a double tap on the B string. So it sounds like this. A little faster. And really slow. All right, one more time, nice and fast. Let's round it out. One of the things that Jason would do is he would sweep and tap. Let's take a look at a nice example in A major. So here's what it is. And then you're going to tap that A on fret 17 up there on your high E string. Pull off. Another thing Jason would do is he would sweep, tap, and slide. So let's do this one in G major. It'll be very similar to our last example in A major, but it's in G. So we're going to be down here. We're going to tap that G, and I'm going to slide it up to this B. And then back. Do this so it's a little louder. So, same deal as the A major. Grab that G, slide it up, slide it back, pull off again. Upstroke.